Next week, we'll be discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from 2019. Tom, how was your watch?
I saw this movie in the theaters when it first came out, and I then watched it again on my laptop in preparation for this episode. And this is my favorite Tarantino movie. I'm not a big Tarantino fan. Most people my age are. I don't get the Pulp Fiction thing. I think it's kind of odd and gross movie. I have a little more affection for the Kill Bills, but not a tremendous amount. This film, though, I think really is excellent. And it kind of reveals his heart in a way that sort of deluge of Easter eggs in his other movies, I think really fails to. In those films, we get this idea of affection for cinema as just being plentitude. There's just a lot of references. Therefore, we know he watched a lot of movies. And for some reason, that's supposed to mean he liked them or he likes movies. Here, there really is this kind of warm love for not just the cinema, but for this time that produced these movies and really these television shows as well. More predominantly the television shows. And so I think it's his best movie. I think it's his best movie by far. Andrew, how was your first watch?
Oh, I just love this movie. I have to agree a lot with you on everything you said. I think at times Tarantino could maybe be a little rapid with his delivery, which is odd. And most of his movies are over 2 hours, so it's just rapid fire for a long, long time. I like his explanation, his expositional dialogue. I happen to like the conversational way he does his films, but I think he really took his time. There was a lot of space in this movie for things to play out and to sort of breathe it in. I think a lot of times this movie is a feel, not only just something to enjoy, but there's a feel to it that's very evocative, and I enjoyed that about it. And it's a big Hollywood movie with a big Hollywood director and big Hollywood stars at a time in 2019 where, aside from the Marvel movies, was sort of few and far between. So at the time, it was extremely refreshing to see. So I just really enjoy this movie. KJ, what are you thinking there?
So I saw this in theaters. It was a nominee for Best Picture. So my wife and I usually try to go see all those. I had no idea about the history at all. And if you know nothing about the history when you're watching this, there's no tension, there's no plot. It's a lovely little movie. Like, it's gorgeous. All the people in it are gorgeous. The cinematography is gorgeous, but there's no reason to watch it because there's nothing happening. It's you need to know, or you need to think you know what's going to happen, or else uh, how about you, Nick? How was your watch?
When I watched this for the first time, literally finishing it up yesterday, it's been on my list for a while to watch. I immediately thought of KJ, and I was like, I wonder if KJ knows all the history behind this. And I sent a text earlier, and he's like, Nick's, I don't know what you said, but something like Nick's got you pegged or Nick's whatever, you know. But needless to say, before I go into all that fun stuff, I'd love to hear what Tom is not fond of or a fan of, because Tom's the one who introduced me to all of these movies back in the day. So the Tarantino's, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, like these all were VHSs we watched at Tom's house. So it's just
Yeah, we were like
no, I
12.
know, but it's just
You
funny
know,
that that was
one
my
age is
introduction. Of course, no, I think we were younger.
younger
Yeah,
than
but
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But still, it's just funny because
Mhm.
your tastes have evolved and the world has evolved too. But needless to say, that's a little background exposition on that. When it comes down to this film, I have to really tip my hat to my wife because she gave me a little bit more of the facts that I didn't know, specifically with Sharon Tate, and we'll talk about this more next week. But how not just a killing it was, but how vicious. So I was sitting here without knowing exactly what was going to happen. It's like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Oh my gosh, it's going to be horrible. When's it going to happen? And then something completely different happened, which I should have known that it wasn't going to play out that way. But you don't know because I tried to go into this blind. I purposely didn't want to know more. I knew Manson was involved somehow in the time period. So for me, it was refreshing because I went in as close as blind as possible, but was still having that little bit of knowledge that KJ was talking about that's essential to enjoy the film. So I did. And we'll talk more about that next week.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is available on Fubo at the time of this recording.
Is
Whatever
Fubo
Fubo is.
available?
I don't know what it is. I
At
have
the
no
time
idea
of
what
this
that is.